Hello, my name is Willful. I'm a PhD candidate at University of Amsterdam. Together with my colleagues, I've been conducting a meta-analysis on willful ignorance, which is what I'm going to talk about in this video. Willful ignorance refers to the behavior where people avoid information about the negative consequences of self-serving decisions. Examples of this behavior can be found in everyday lives, such as consumers who purchase cheap but unethical products, companies that ignore reports about how their production has harmful environmental impact, or people who ignore evidence of climate change so that they can keep the comfortable lifestyle. Given the damaging nature of willful ignorance, it is important that we understand its drivers and consequences. So our meta-analysis aims to tackle the following questions. To what extent do people avoid inconvenient information? How does it impact their subsequent behavior? And how robust are these effects to contextual and personal factors? The key experimental parodying to study willful ignorance was introduced in a seminal work by Dana, Weber, and Huang in 2007. We're interested in the results from two key treatments. In a full information treatment, which functions as a controlled condition, participants are asked to choose between two options, A and B. Option A is the selfish option, yielding a payoff of $6 for the participant themselves and $1 for another passive player. Option B is a prosocial option, yielding an equal payoff of $5 for both. In the full information treatment, 47% of participants act altruistically by choosing option B, foregoing $1 profit to provide the other passive player with $5 instead of $1. Participants in the experimental hidden information treatment are faced with a similar choice, knowing that option A yields $6 and option B $5 for themselves. Importantly, however, they do not know the consequences of choosing A or B for the other person. They do know that option A has 50% chance of providing the other persons with $1 in a conflicting state and 50% chance of providing $5 in a non-conflicting state. Before choosing between A and B, they can choose to privately and costlessly reveal how much the other person will receive if they choose A or B. Alternatively, they may choose not to reveal the information and make the decision between A and B without the additional knowledge. What is intriguing about the result is that compared to the controlled treatment, where the majority acted altruistically by choosing option B, when given a choice to avoid information in the hidden information treatment, 8 out of 16 participants in the conflicting situation avoided information, and all 8 out of 8 made the selfish choice. This suggests that participants willfully avoid information, even if, or perhaps because, it is relevant for their choice. Now, such intriguing findings lead to the theory that there is a group of reluctant altruists. Consider this two-type model where there is only two types of people in the world, selfish and altruistic. Only altruistic people would make the altruistic choice in the full information treatment, and they would continue making the altruistic choice in the hidden information treatment. Selfish people will not be making any altruistic choice. And thus, there will be no difference in the level of altruism between the two treatments. Now, consider the three-type model, which includes a group of reluctant altruists. In the full information treatment, both altruists and reluctant altruists will act altruistically. Reluctant altruists do so because they feel the social pressure to give to other people. Yet, when the opportunity arises, they will switch to acting selfishly by avoiding the relevant information. Thus, if reluctant altruists exist and they engage in willful ignorance, we should see a drop in the level of altruism when comparing the full information treatment and the hidden information treatment, as it has been shown in the previous experiment by Dana and colleague. Now, to test the robustness of such findings and establish evidence for willful ignorance, we searched for relevant literature. Overall, we obtained 22 studies consisting of 56 different treatments. Analyzing 13,007 decisions made by 6,436 participants, we found clear evidence for willful ignorance. First, let's look at the left panel of this graph. Here, we plot out the 56 different effect sizes that we included in our dataset. The green dots represent the fraction of altruistic choice in the full information treatment, and the red dots represent the fractions of altruistic choice in the hidden information treatment. Clearly, as you can see, there's a big gap between treatments. On average, the overall weighted gap between the two treatments is 15.6 percentage points. On the right panel, we're showing what the fraction of altruistic choice in the full information treatment remains in the hidden information treatment. Here, we found that the probability of an altruistic choice in the hidden information treatment is only 72% of that in the full information treatment. This is strong evidence for the three-type model and for willful ignorance. With evidence supporting the three-type model, we can further estimate the fraction of each type. We estimate that on average, 40% of people will avoid inconvenient information when given the opportunities, and about 16% of people in the population are reluctant altruists, and these are the people that drive the difference in the level of altruism between treatments. This finding proves to be very robust to situational factors. That includes temptation for the decision makers and harm for the recipients. Regarding personal factors, we found higher level of altruism among older people. However, this is partly due to reluctant motives rather than a true concern for others. So that was a very brief summary of our study. Thank you so much for listening, and I look forward to hearing your comments and all questions.